Zombies roam the streets, as if distanced from life itself. Glued to their screens, vying for their attention, the technology beckons their name. The screens aglow as it accepts them into its warmth. Everyone uses screens in the modern age, so it affects us all, including the children we are raising. Technology such as this, the phone. So therefore, we need to take screens away from the use, because stopping this addiction early on can be beneficial later in life. To explain why we should, we are going to discuss how technology could be making us dumber and lose focus, the link of screen time and depression, and how technology can be detrimental to the mental and physical health of the youth. To start, technology is making us dumber and lose focus. The internet is making us stupid by changing the way we think. According to an article by The Atlantic, says that with the internet has changed reading in the way of prioritizing efficiency and immediacy over informational retainment and full mental processing of the material. They then interview Marianne Wolf, a developmental psychologist, goes on to say that we are not only what we read, but also how we read it. The lack of attention span that this modern simplicity of information is resulting in more mere translation for the brain and less actual understanding of the material in one ear and out another. Technology is causing a lack of focus, which can lead to procrastination. The world of the internet moves fast with all the calls, messages, information, news, entertainment, and drama that comes from using these devices. According to Adam Gazzaley, through an article on StorageCraft, technology has grown so fast that it challenges our cognitive control system at its very core. We are more likely to focus our attention on entertainment and pleasures than to work on homework assignments, as an example. Distractions can start out small with an email or text message that can instead influence and reinforce more of the same behavior. Without the self-control to stop yourself and focus at the task at hand, you can forget about it altogether. Now that we've talked about how our dependence on technological screens can impact our intelligence and motivation, let's talk about how it can be a factor that causes depression. There is an evidence of link between depression and screen time. According to an article by the New York Times, cortisol, which is the main stress hormone that is primarily responsible to our fight or flight response, is being artificially elevated, which can trigger physiological changes, such as spikes in blood pressure, heart rate, and blood sugar. Most smartphones and apps are designed to trigger your dopamine system, which makes the device much more addictive as it can be seen as stress relief. We associate the phone with a spike of dopamine, which we will respond to the presence of stress in everyday life by grabbing our phones to relieve it. More often than not, whenever you check your phone, you will encounter something else that can spike your levels of stress and anxiety, which will lead to more desires to use the device. An increased amount of screen time has been linked to insomnia as well, which is also linked to symptoms of depression in adults and adolescents alike. According to the Sleep Foundation, the sleep-inducing hormone we use to fall asleep, melatonin, can be delayed in its release from the artificial blue light that electronic devices emit. The natural internal clock our bodies use to know when to fall asleep and wake up can be manipulated from the change in melatonin's release. There is a large population of Americans constantly online, and also another large population that have been diagnosed with insomnia. The two can easily be linked. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, 6.7% or 16 million adults suffer from depression every year. With the link of depression, insomnia, and screen usage, I think it can be safe to say that a good number of the 16 million Americans experience insomnia in some way. According to PewResearch.org, 28% of American adults are online constantly, with 81% saying they are on daily. With screen time attributing to insomnia and depression, a good majority of the previously mentioned 16 million Americans most likely have unhealthy technology habits. Technology is not the primary cause of depression by far, as everyone's life and situation are different, but the indication that insomnia is being caused by the blue light being emitted by the technological devices can definitely play a big role. Now that we have discussed the effects of technology on humans as a whole, let's talk about what it does to children currently being raised on it. Technology is detrimental to the mental and physical health of the youth. There is evidence for screen time hindering brain development. There is a critical period in child development where they develop language as their basis of communication and develop cognitive skills and abilities. According to an article in Insider, they say that a report on JAMA Pediatrics found that preschool-aged children that experience more than the average screen time develop a case where they have lower amounts of white matter in the brain which is responsible for language development and literacy, as well as developing mental cognition skills and abilities. It is recommended to limit the screen usage to help keep the developmental stage on track. Studies show that obesity can also be linked to extended screen usage of the youth. According to a published study on the Wiley Online Library, they reported that among their 242 participants, they ended the study with 33 or 14% of them as being overweight or obese. Over the course of the study, they reported only 2 hours of outside playtime on average, with 5 hours a week watching TV. While the study focused primarily on how the mother impacted the body mass index with her health before birth, they were also researching how the TV time impacted the children during their childhood. They found that the more TV they watched, the more significant the change of a higher body mass index, as it takes away, distracts from a healthier lifestyle. In conclusion, we need to take away the screens from the youth and adolescents. To illustrate this, we looked at how technology could be making us dummier and lazier, the link of screen time and depression, and how technology can be detrimental to the mental and physical health of the youth. Screen addiction has taken its toll on children, but can be stopped. The children of today are the adults of tomorrow, and if we can develop a society that is free from an addiction to technology, we can help develop a more productive society that is happier overall. Thank you.
Show yourselves, friends.